and welcome to my channel. I'm Devine and today I'm going to be showing you two different methods for using this heatless curler for your hair. I'm sure you've seen these all over TikTok. Naturally, it's not going to be exactly the same as when you use some rollers or an actual curling iron, but it is a little bit faster and easier. So I'm going to walk you through two different methods and I'm going to try to make this as realistic and as formative as possible. So I would recommend having your hair just a little bit damp for the best results. You don't want it dripping wet, and if it's completely dry, it's really not going to work very well. And then you'll part your hair down the middle, and then when you place curler on your head, how far back is going to depend on how much curl you have towards the front. So for this first method, as you see here, I'm placing it a little bit further back so that the curl isn't too close to my face, so it lays a little bit softer and frames my face a bit more. And then when you put in that clip, what you're going to want to do is place it slightly off centered, and this way you're going to be able to wrap the hair on the opposite side first. And if you put in that clip, you are going to tie off that side with one of the scrunchies. So to get started wrapping, you're going to take a small section in the front and you're going to wrap it over and under the curler. And then you're going to take another section and you're going to add it to what you just wrapped, and you're going to wrap it again. And then you're just going to continue this process. Now it's important to remember when you are grabbing these new sections that you need to part all the way back to that middle part. If you're just grabbing it from the front, that hair in the back is not going to get curled. Now you're always going to have a little bit of hair in the crown that's not going to be completely curled. That just comes from this style of curler. Like I said, it's not going to look the same as when you're using curlers or a curling iron, but it is, I would say it's definitely faster. But as you see here, it's can still be tricky. You still got to make sure you're parting that hair. It's still going to want to grab the hair is still going to want to grab at each other. That's just the reality of working with hair. All these girls you see on TikTok, they will go through it super fast and they'll make it look perfect, and that's because they have done it who knows how many dozens of times. Now you can make it look perfect too if you do it dozens of times in a row as well, but the first couple times it's not going to look perfect, and that's okay. The most important thing is that these are wrapped snugly, they're wrapped close to the head, and they're wrapped relatively consistent. Now once we get to the ends here, and we're going to tie it off with a scrunchie. It does not have to be perfect, but that hair does need to be wrapped up for the most part, because if there's too much hanging out, those ends are not going to get curled. And once you have all the hair wrapped and both scrunchies on, we're just going to take the curler and we are going to wrap it around the head in whatever way is most comfortable, and tie a nice little bow in the front to hold it in place. And then try to remember to take that clip out. I obviously forgot, and then I got a nice little dent in my hair. Now you can absolutely try to sleep on this overnight. That's how it's advertised. I personally cannot sleep with something like this on my head, so I just put it in the morning. I work from home, and then in the evening time I take it out. So I'm still wearing it for a good 6 to 8 hours, and it's still able to dry completely. So we're simply going to undo the knot in the top, take out the scrunchies, and unravel the hair. Again, I've seen some videos where they grab the middle and they yank it out like it's nothing. I don't see how that is realistic at all. That's going to cause your hair to tangle more than likely, so it's best just to unravel from the bottom up, and as you go, make sure it's not catching or tangling. Yes, it might take a couple more minutes, but again, it's a much more realistic method. It's a much safer method. It's not going to damage your hair by going this route. Once you get the curler out, you can just run your fingers through to kind of break up the curls a little bit. If you have particularly dry hair, I suggest putting just a little bit of oil between your fingers to run your fingers through and break up those curls. I did not do that because I have oily enough hair, I don't need to worry about it. As you see, all the curls are kind of falling in one direction, so it creates almost like a wave, which I think is very pretty. I'm going to show you another method to create a little bit more dimension as well. So to start off, we need to have a little swig of coffee, because how does anybody manage to have energy to do it without coffee? And once again, we're going to spritz a little water, part the hair down the middle. So we're going to start it the same, except for when we put in the curler, we're going to have it a little bit closer to the face this time, and you're going to see how it curls a little bit more. Once again, you're going to want to put that clip just off center to the part so that we can wrap the opposite side, and we are going to put a nice little scrunchie in to hold that one side in place while we wrap the other side. Okay, this time when we wrap the hair, we're going to do a crisscross method. So we're still going to start with that small section in the front, and we're going to wrap it over and under, and then we're going to hold that in place while we grab another section from the back, and we're going to wrap this second section in the opposite direction. So from the back, we're going to wrap it over and under the opposite way. So you're constantly going to have two separate sections. You don't want to combine the sections you're wrapping forward and backwards, because that will create a very awkward curl. So once you get that section in the back wrapped around once, you're going to grab another section from the front, and then you're going to add it to the first section that you're wrapping around. And you're going to wrap it all the way around, and then grab another section from the back, and you're just going to keep repeating this process. You're going to constantly have two sections that you're wrapping. It's almost going to feel like you're French braiding your hair, except whenever you take a section, you're going to wrap it all the way around rather than just wrapping it towards the middle. Now again, this does not have to be perfect. It needs to be as consistent as you can make it. It needs to be snug and close to the head, but it does not need to be perfect, because curly hair is very forgiving. So if you make a couple small mistakes, it's not a big deal. Likely nobody's going to notice it. And if somebody feels the need to point out that one curl on your head is not falling the same as the others, well, you can tell them they need to stop staring at your head so close, because that's just weird. But the point is that this doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need to make it look exactly like all the videos you see online, because once again, they have wrapped this many times to make it look so good, and likely edited the videos. So you need to have the wrap consistent and snug. It does not have to be perfect. I want to make sure everybody understands that, because I want them to have realistic expectations when they are doing their hair. I don't want anybody to feel discouraged because their hair does not look exactly like it did in the video. And what you can always get away with doing is, if you have just a little bit hanging out after you put the scrunchie in, is you can just wrap those little ends around the curler and tuck it in the scrunchie. So we are going to come and we're going to do the other side. Same thing. I'm going to show you how to wrap all this. Another very important thing to remember is doing your own hair is exhausting, and that's why I say don't worry about making it perfect. I worked in a salon for 7 years. I did other people's hair all day long, and it still tires me out more to do my own hair than it does to do somebody else's, because the way you have to hold your arms above your head for so long to style it, it's tiring. So if you make tiny mistakes that nobody's going to notice and you feel the need to completely redo it, you're just going to have to hold your arms above your head for even longer. You're going to get even more tired, you're going to get more frustrated, and then in the end, you're probably going to wrap the hair worse than you did on your first attempt, because you're getting so tired and frustrated. So again, don't worry about perfection, worry about consistency and keeping those curls wrapped snug. Oh no, I have a piece hanging out. Whatever will I do? Well, I guess I'm gonna have to wrap and tuck it. Whatever will the TikTok girls think of me? It doesn't look perfect. Oh no! My curler shifted. One side's hanging further than the other. Whatever will I do? Well, I guess I'm gonna wrap it and tie it. It's, like I said, it really doesn't have to be perfect. You can make it work. Now, if you have longer hair and your curler shifts too much and you run out of curler, yeah, that'll be an issue. But if you got shorter hair like mine and one side hangs a little lower, not a big deal. You can wrap it up just like so. And you're welcome to sleep in this. I'd suggest wearing a silk bonnet if you do choose to sleep in it, just because that's going to help reduce frizz the next day. Like I mentioned before, I like to just wear it around the house all day. Nobody gonna care what my hair looks like at home. When you take out this wrap, you're gonna do the same thing as the previous one. You're gonna take out the scrunchies and start from the bottom and just gently unravel, and then comb through with your fingers. As you can see, it creates much more dimension because you have curls going in both directions. So whatever style you prefer, you can absolutely wrap. I hope y'all enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. And please like and subscribe for more upcoming videos.